I'm Jennie Rayment, and today I'm going to show you how to do a messenger bag. Messenger bag number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, see you can make it any size, number 5, and number 6, the one we're going to make, which is stiffened with Decovil Light. This is a wonderful product that will add a gentle stiffening to your bags or wherever you happen to want a little bit of stiffening. In addition to that, I'm going to use a wadding. Now I've got this wonderful medium weight polyester wadding, but the great thing about it is it's fusible. Another big plus point is how you use it is printed down the side, so you know exactly how to use it and which is the fusible side. So let us, without any more ado, get on with making a messenger bag. You're going to need 2 pieces of fabric. You could use just 1 plain piece of fabric for the lining, and for the outer you can be as creative as you like. I have sewn 5 strips, the 2.5-inch strips together from a jelly roll, a design strip, call it what you like. The length of the 2 pieces of fabric for this size of messenger bag, which is the one we have here, is round about 21 inches in length and about 11 inches in width. 2 fat quarters will do the job admirably. Move number 1 is to take both pieces and just gently round the end off. The easiest way to do it is to fold one of the pieces of the fabric in half, and with your scissors or a rotary cutter, just cut a gentle arc. That is for the flap of the bag, so be a little bit careful if you're using a directional fabric. Use that arc as a template for the lining, which of course is exactly the same size as the outer piece. So just pop that on top of the lining and cut it the same. So use it as a template and just cut round with your rotary cutter. Right. Having done that, in addition, you're going to want some wadding, and this is where I'm using this wonderful H640. It's marvellous wadding because it has a fusible side. So exactly the same shaped piece of the fusible wadding. Again, trim it as necessary to that arc shape. And you'll want a piece of the Decovil Light. Once again, this needs to be trimmed in an arc shape all the way along there. When you've got the pieces prepared, we're going to fuse initially the outside of the bag to the fusible side of the H640. There it is. You're going to lay that on top, turn it over, put it onto your pressing mat, and you want an iron-on cloth because that will protect the fabrics and also the base of your iron, because you do not want to melt the wadding onto the base of the iron. So I've slightly damped my iron-on cloth, lay it on top. The iron is set between 2 to 3 dots and you will gently press it. It'll take about 15 seconds and a moment or two to iron the entire thing in place. Having pressed the H640 to the back of the front of my bag, one end, the flat end, not the arced end, just turn one seam over and hem it. And do exactly the same thing on the lining. So the flat end, just turn over and hem it. Don't fold it over more than the once, just fold it over once and then hem along. When you've done that, we're going to stiffen this bag with the Decovil Light. So cut yourself a piece of Decovil Light, the same size as this, but fractionally shorter in the length, because you want the Decovil Light to come inside that hem. When you've done that, we're going to fuse the things together. So back to the ironing mat, back to the iron-on cloth. Make sure it's slightly damp, because that makes it transparent and you can see through it. With the iron, gently press it, heat of the iron between 2 or 3 dots, and just gently fuse the Decovil Light to the back of the H640. Having fused the layers together, stitch with a long stitch right the way around the edge of all the outside of the bag, fusing and holding the whole lot together. You might want to use your walking foot. We're now going to make a tab, and the tab is very simple. Just literally a strip about 4.5 inches long by about 1.25 inches wide, and all I do is fold sides to middle and then fold it in half. When you've done that, it might pay you to stitch very close to both sides. The tab will go in the middle of the top of the bag at the arc section, And I like to put it in with it folded over like that. Don't cross it over or do anything strange. Have it so that both sides of the tab lie parallel and it's in the centre. And just pin it in place. It would pay you to put a couple of stitches in it to hold it firmly within the seam allowance. So just stitch backwards and forwards within the seam allowance. When you stitch backwards and forwards within the seam allowance, we can then start to prepare the bag properly. Now I will do that in a minute because I want to show you the magic bit. Right, this bag is going to have a flat bottom with just 2 side seams, one that side and one that side. Fold the bag in half, allowing the flap, however big you want it to be, it doesn't matter in the slightest. When you folded it over, it will pay you to put either pins or quilter's clips here. Having put quilter's clips on either side, here at the bottom, you're going to tuck in. Now, the more you tuck in, the bigger bottom you're going to get. Oh, that life would be so easy to get a bigger or a smaller bottom. So if I tuck in that much, the base of my bag is going to be that wide. If I only tuck in a little bit, I will have a little bottom. So it's up to you as to how much you tuck in. So tuck in whatever you feel is necessary to make the base of the bag. And again, a couple of quilter's clips down the sides will hold all the layers together, a treat. One down that side, one down that side. Then all we're going to do is sew down here and sew down there. I have sewn backwards and forwards across my tab just to hold it in place. Now I'm going to stitch down the sides. If you use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you'll come slightly in on that edge stitching I did initially to hold all the layers together. So underneath the presser foot, lower the presser foot. On this particular machine, I have the ability to shift my needle over and set it at a 1/4 inch from this edge of the presser foot. And I do it with the stitch width button, move it to round about 5.4. On many other machines, you can do exactly the same thing, but your setting might be subtly different. So I'm starting on the edge there, drop your needle down, and you're going to sew straight down the edge of here. Just go slowly when you get to that thicker bit at the bottom. Take the quilter's clip out, go slowly over that, the machine will go through it beautifully. When you get to the bottom, I suggest you just reverse. Or turn it round and go back over it again. Just literally stabilise that stitching at the very bottom, because that's going to be the base of the bag. There we are. And you're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side, but this time you might find it easier to start on the fold and sew upwards, rather than try to push the bag through that part of it. So start here, underneath the presser foot, lower the presser foot, drop the needle down to make sure you start the stitch, so drop your needle right down into it, proceed, and then reverse. This machine doesn't want to go backwards, here it is. There we go. And then forwards again, right up to the top. And again, you can go backwards and forwards, or you can turn it round. There we are. Right, having done that, you're going to do exactly the same thing to the lining. So I prepared the lining in an identical fashion. There it is. So there is your lining, exactly the same as the outside. You're going to sew down those 2 sides, the same seam allowance, 1/4 inch. There we are, backwards and forwards at the bottom. And then just do down the other side. So all I have done is 1 seam either side, and believe you me, this is going to give your bag with a flat bottom. Right, now, what we're going to do now is take the lining and the outside of the bag, put the 2 pieces right sides together, and I'm going to sew just round the arc. Start my stitching there and finish my stitching there. Just check and make sure you've got it all lined up. And that's the magic bit. You will see in just a minute. We're starting there, so all the way around. Across the tab. back again, round the other side, and stop. And go backwards if you want. Raise the press foot, take it out. Now, what's going to happen now? Having stitched round the arc there, what I'm going to do is lift the lining up, turn the bag itself right side out. And as you turn it out and poke the corners out, you will get a little triangle in the corner there. There's a little triangle. See, it's magic. And the same thing will happen on the other side. There'll be a little triangle over there. And then, to get the lining in the right place, if you just turn the flap of the bag up and over, poke it out with your fingies, like that, pop it in there, you just drop the lining inside the bag, and there is your bag ready lined with its lining. All you now need to do is to stitch along the top here with a small slip stitch, or you can do it on the machine, and your bag is just about ready to go. I'd be inclined to press it round here and possibly top stitch, as you can see on this one, just to hold the lining in place, and then all we need to do is make a handle. I have a strip approximately 3 inches wide by whatever length you want the handle to be. Initially, I have pressed up approximately 1/3 of it along one side. Along the other long edge, I've folded over about 1/4 inch, and I'm going to bring that fold to the centre of my strip. Whatever the width of the finished pressed band is, I cut Decovil light the same width. Open the band up, lay the Decovil light inside, fold it up and then press it. And what I will do down the centre is to do something like a long stitch down the middle, a long wiggly design to catch all the layers, and maybe tram lines up and down the sides. Now, 2 top tips. One is, if you haven't got a long enough piece of the Decovil light, join it together with a zigzag. Absolutely fine. You needn't waste any of it. The other little top tip is at the beginning and ends of the strap, don't have any of the stiffening in it, because it makes it so much easier when you come to fold it up and put it on the bag. It isn't extra stiff there. So I have left the ends of my strap without the Decovil light in it. Now, when it comes to putting it on the bag, rather than fold it up like that and attach it to the band, what I prefer to do is to fold the corners in like a mitre, then fold it up and attach it to the bag side like that. You don't get that rather lumpy bit running down the edge, and it does give you a considerably neater effect, as you can see if I turn this to there. So attach your handle, and I would just sew literally round the handle in a square and maybe do crisscross across the middle, maybe 1, maybe 2. And that will give you a nice firm handle to your messenger bag. So Decovil light in the handle, wrap it up, fancy stitch down the middle, tram lines up and down the sides, attach it to the bag. And another final tip is, if you've made your loop a little bit too big, what's a rather neat trick and does look good is just to stitch the loop together just below the button, and it actually gives you quite a nice little tab to hold when you want to undo the bag. You just pull that. So that's your messenger bag. H640 for the wadding, Decovil light for the stiffening. When you've finished it, it's a great bag for taking absolutely anywhere, because it will hold your phone, it will hold your purse, and all the other stuff that we like to have in our bags. A messenger bag.